Ready?
Get the blood flowing. Okay.
Mm-hmm. We should do some of the Midge and Imogene the weird calisthenics that they do. Hello, everyone. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is the So I'm Watching. You and me, we're both. It's early. It's Saturday. We're tired. This is So I'm Watching, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Season 4, Episode 5, How to Chew Quietly and Influence People. Very funny.
Mm-hmm.
Love to see it. I liked this episode so much, and it's because of the relief I felt when nothing terrible happened. Because there were like 4 separate moments when something truly terrible could have happened.
Yep.
And it didn't.
Yep. Midge is fine.
Midge is fine.
Of all.
She's got a little sling for like the first couple scenes in the episode, but after that she's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So she must have just like, I don't know, bruised her elbow or something. But it just was such a weird cliffhanger to then make us wait for a whole week to like see if there would be any repercussions. We begin with Susie is looking for a secretary for Meyerson and Associates. She does not know how to interview a person. No idea what questions to ask.
Interviewing's hard. Have you ever had to interview someone for a job?
At my previous job, I interviewed the girl below me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, because it's just like, I'm in this weird place of power, but I don't feel like I have any power or agency over myself. And so I don't know what to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I would love to just be like, are you an asshole? Because if you're an asshole, just tell me. And then we won't do this.
Yeah.
But
I just want you to like, so
you can't ask that.
It's really similar to when I first moved down here and me and Will and Andrew were trying to rent that house with Brittany. And we talked about it and we were like, yeah, it feels weird that you're going to be renting your house to like 4 recent college graduates. You know, that does not instill a ton of confidence. But Will was always like, I wish there was a way to be like, no. But like, we have the like blue check mark. So we're fine. Like we're like code blue. Like we're good. And this is not a code red situation. And there's just no way to do that until the person's like in already.
Yeah.
It's really hard. People are good at interviewing and then they're shitty. Yeah, me too. And then they're shitty at the job. And it's just sort of like, oh, I don't want to be around you forever.
Yep. I've been burned twice. Interviewed 2 different people and then they both were like, bang. And so...
Because
like,
that's
okay.
That's the other thing is she calls one of the guys from like another agency, like another manager, and he's like, try to get them to eat something because if they chew weird, you're gonna want to know that. And I was like, that's actually the best advice she could have gotten.
Yeah, because you kind of dropped a bomb on me last night that I have like misophonia or whatever. I probably said it wrong, but like. Chewing has never been a thing until it's a thing. And then I forget that I have the thing. But mostly it's how people move their mouths that bother me.
So you said something once months ago about how you don't like watching other people eat bananas. You don't like bananas and you don't like watching people eat bananas. And bananas are one of the most like squishy, loud foods. I think that's why. I think you have misophonia.
Probably.
Yeah.
But I like to watch Kate Hudson eat.
That's fine.
Like the way that, because her and Brad Pitt, because Brad Pitt eats so much in the Oceans movies, and like they make me want to eat. Like the way that they eat is attractive. Kate Hudson specifically. I don't know what it is. Are you
thinking about the cheeseburger in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days? That's the only time I can like remember her eating food.
There's that, but then in Bride Wars, I can't watch that. She's eating a bunch, but like she's eating like celery or like a carrot or something, and she's just eating it really well. I don't know.
Well, they're both hot. That might factor in.
No, because I've seen other hot people eat things and it doesn't do the same thing. It's like how some people look we're not endorsing, but like how some people look really cool smoking.
I'm not endorsing, but I've said it multiple times on our Twitter account.
Yeah.
Some people look really cool when they smoke.
Especially all of France. Everyone in France, pretty much.
Most French people look pretty good when they smoke.
Yeah.
So that was really interesting. That was like the only advice she got, though, and she didn't make it out of that scene having hired a secretary. She just keeps...
She tried to force this girl to eat an apple. And the girl was like, no, thank you.
I'm actually allergic.
Yeah.
They also, then Midge shows up. They both got invited to Shy Baldwin's wedding. This was my first indication that something truly terrible was going to happen in this episode. I thought she was going to just rush the stage. I have to get it out. That's what I thought. I thought
Really?
Midge was going to get on stage and like do a set.
Oh no, I figured it probably would be like slow and like sneaky and like basically what they did. I took it as like what a great opportunity for good PR because if they look buddy and the newspapers took a picture of it, then like her being blackballed essentially is over.
Sure. I mean, I don't know. Regardless, they both are like, well, I'm not going. Well, I'm not going either. And then in the same conversation, they decide to go. And so they end up going.
I mean, I would go. Free food and free booze. Fuck yeah. And I would have done the exact same thing. What's the most expensive alcohol that you have? Give me 5 of them.
Yeah. Well, sure. Of course. I mean, it's an open bar.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you go and drink the most expensive thing at the open bar of a 1960s crooner.
My God.
Yeah. Anyway, I also, though, have I said it out there. I have like no moral backbone in situations like this because Midge is so incensed that they would offer her money to sign an NDA.
Yes. So we should probably set that up a little bit more. So they go to leave and these 2 guys like come and corral them into the back room where Shy's like overall manager Lou is back there with like a ton of people and it's like kind of like a situation room.
Yeah.
And then we find out that Reggie's gone.
Yep.
And that he has a new manager, like direct manager. And they effectively want Midge to sign an NDA about what happened on the boat.
Yeah. Because they're trying to basically keep it contained that Shy's gay. So, because he's going to be in the next whose movie? He's going to be in a movie, a big
Billy Wilder.
That's it.
Yeah. And they cleaned out the entire band.
Yeah. Liza Wheel's not there anymore.
Yeah. Everyone's gone. Yeah. And they're like, he needed a new sound or whatever. I'm like, no, they are actually absolutely trying to contain it.
Because that's the thing that it was really in passing at first. And then it's confirmed in that scene. But like Susie and Midge arrive at the wedding and Susie's like, none of the old band is up there. I don't see anybody. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, they fired everyone that knew Shy was gay because it was really clear in 1 or 2 episodes in season 3 that like the band knew because he just would like have these, you know, like they called it a stool set where he would have to like sit down because he got beat up essentially. And I'm just like, want those people closer? I would want those people closer.
Same.
It's like a way like people can break NDAs. So you're gonna sue them. Then okay. The rumor's already out there. The information's already out there. You can't do anything about that.
Yep. So. It was all the knowing looks too, because everyone was just kind of like, you know, but I'm with you. I would have kept everyone as close to me and then I would have kept everyone fed, everyone paid. That's the way you do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, having a ton of disgruntled people and then being out so much money.
Yep.
But I mean, it's probably just a drop in the bucket, but like, come on. And she didn't directly say it. And we get Midge and Shy in the bathroom and they have oh my God, so good. But they have a conversation and she apologizes, and she was like, I fucking killed that night. And yes, it was loaded, but I didn't do anything like directly to hurt you, which I agree. She didn't explicitly say.
Yeah.
Shy Baldwin is a gay man.
She wasn't just like, look at this queen.
Yeah.
It was like, she made an ill-advised joke about Judy Garland's shoes. But then I loved when she like just rattled off like 4 punchlines.
Oh my God, it was so great.
That she could have done instead. She was like, you are rife for comedy, for punchlines. There's everything about you could be a punchline if I wanted it to be. But she was like, I was nervous and Mom's Mabley went on before me and I'm sorry. She like really, really apologized. And so once we got them alone together in the bathroom, I was like, okay. I was like, this is going to be okay. Because it's not going to be a scene. It's just going to be a private moment with the 2 of them. Because they started trying to make a scene. Like, she immediately ripped flowers out of one of the flower arrangements.
That annoyed me.
Knocking stuff over. She took a tray of hors d'oeuvres and dumped them into another flower arrangement. I don't know. It's a very like childish behavior. Knocking over the...
Yes, the poor waiter that's got like a thing, just piles of empty plates, and she pushed it over. That just makes me feel sad for the waiter.
Yeah. I was not super into that. I think it was just a little too childish, especially when we then had such a like actually mature productive moment between the two of them.
Right.
And he was like trying so hard. He was like, you know, I'm in the States for a while. Why don't we grab a drink or whatever? And she was like, no, I'm not falling for it again. We're not friends. So.
Which I like that because it's like, you are not my friend. Because my friend.
It's a good boundary.
Yeah. I mean, my friend would not have left me on the tarmac with absolutely no explanation.
Yeah. So then they get corralled after everything's fine with her and Shy. They get corralled and they're getting ready to leave. They get taken back to the Situation Room and they basically offer her $2,000 to sign an NDA that she won't ever tell anybody. And this is where I have no moral backbone because I would have maybe like made a couple of like, oh no, like of course not. But in my mind, it would have been to see how much they'd offer me instead.
Yeah.
They offer her $12,000, which I just looked up is the equivalent of $114,000 in today's money. And she still says no. And I understand her, like, her moral and ethical and friendship reasons. She's like, no, I promise Shy. And I would never tell anybody because I promise Shy. I don't need to promise you. I get it. I just also would have taken the money.
Well, I had a situation. It was not me directly, but I was involved in the situation. And the person who was offered $20,000 to sign an NDA didn't want to take the money. And I said, that's cool. I get it because they wanted to like follow through on what they were working on for the reason for the NDA. And I said, that's fine. As long as you follow through.
Yeah.
I think it's very noble of you. And absolutely. Did they follow through on what they were doing? No. So we said goodbye to $20,000.
We were talking about it last night and I'm just sort of like, $10,000 is not actually like a lot of money. $10,000, $12,000 in the scheme of things.
You could literally hold it in your hand.
Yeah.
It just one.
It's like not even
stack.
an inch thick.
No.
In the scheme of things, it's not a lot of money. But at the same time, do you know how much $10,000 would change my life right now?
Yes.
Like miraculously changed my life.
Yeah. Yes, very much so.
I think that's what like something that a lot of people don't understand. Like especially a lot of people that are like in power. And this is like a way diversion from the episode. But like $10,000, $12,000, that's life-changing money. And like I own this house, you know, and still that's like so much money. So
well, it's just interesting because it's not necessarily diverging from the episode because in the beginning of the episode, we see Midge trying to balance her checkbook. Yep. And she's got bills and stuff everywhere, and she's not really making money from selling Tupperware. She keeps winning everything because that's how they get you.
She's got a lot of cool shit.
We'll pay you in product. Yeah. So to have that in the beginning, to have her saying no to $12,000 and feeling so firm in it, I mean, you go, girl. But also,
100%.
But also at the same time, I was like, but your bills, no. You could have, because she honestly at that point, because the money, I don't know. She probably could have outright gave Moish the money for that apartment, and then everything would be fine.
Yeah.
Everything would be fine. So, I mean, like...
I applaud...
I would have signed it.
I applaud the morality, but I would have signed it and taken the money.
I would have signed it. And I'm like, no problem.
Once they... Like, I would have probably signed it once they got to 5.
Yeah. Well... I would have been like, nope. And then I would have had my hand on the door. And then they would, if they said 12, or if they like took it up there, or if they said, if you like walk out the door right now, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. And I'll make like I'm going for the door. And then I could like make a play like, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, unless they like threw more money at me.
Sure.
But
yeah. I don't know. Regardless, she doesn't sign it. And then she also sees Shy sort of sneak out the side door for a cigarette when she and Susie are getting into the cab with their like 15 gift bags, which is so funny. And she like almost goes to talk to him. And then she's like, nope. And she gets in the cab and they
Not
leave.
my friend.
So I think that's the end of the Shy Baldwin thing. I'm glad about the note it ended on. I really appreciated where it landed because it was still too... I don't know. It was too up in the air and too open. And like, we know so much more now. We know that they fired Reggie too, because Reggie was too close to Shy and like couldn't handle him and just all gross. Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad about where it ended. I think it was, and Midge even was like, I hope you're going to be really happy. And it felt sincere to me.
Well, but who do you think she is running to go help?
Lenny.
Oh, you think so?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought it would be Shy.
Mm-mm.
Oh. Oh, no.
He's just passed out on the street, I'm sure.
Oh, okay. Then that's fine.
I don't think he's dying. I think he's just passed out on the street.
And New York is still kind of okay at this point. It's not until the 70s until everyone starts getting stabbed randomly.
So the reason that I say that is because I saw a slight spoiler for the next episode.
I completely forgot.
And I know that Lenny is there. And so I just assume that that's Lenny she's running towards.
I want them to kiss.
I think we're going to be excited. So I don't know that they're going to kiss, but I think we're going to.
I need it. Please give it to me.
Also, we did get a comment last week about how Lenny Bruce was married. And so he was married.
Yeah.
But he got divorced in 1957. Yeah. And this season takes place firmly in 1960. So that's not currently a concern. So moving on, Rose gets a call to go see Mr. Melamed, who is played by Scott Cohen, who was in Gilmore Girls. He played Lorelai's first boyfriend, Max. I never really liked Max, but I love Scott Cohen, and I think he's great. And I was super pumped to see him. It was very fun. He was wearing an entire riding outfit.
He was very handsome.
And it worked. Mm-hmm. You should see him with early 2000s hair. I'll pull up a picture when we're done.
Okay.
Like, he's very handsome. So she goes out there to, what town was it? Scarsdale. And they have like a horse farm. They're horse breeders or showers or riders or all of the above.
They're horse money.
They're horse people.
Yeah.
Old Scarsdale horse money.
And railroads and textiles and whatever. They're eyeing aviation, so they just got their hands in all the pies.
If it pays for that place in Scarsdale,
hey,
I'll take it. I'll marry one of your daughters.
Yeah, right.
So he basically is like, he's heard of Rose and her matchmaking, and he's like, I have 2 daughters, 31 and 33, and I can't get them off my hands. I want you to do what you can. And like, blah, 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 whatever. And she's like, cool, I'll meet them. And he's like, here's the thing though, is like discretion is very important to us. Okay. I'm pissed about this.
Me too.
Because I agree, discretion is important. They're very rich people. I understand. That's fine. You say whatever you want. That does not give Rose the right to snoop through Miriam's room, find private stuff, and then try to make her quit comedy again.
Right.
And the thing is, we've already been here, and we've already done this. And I thought that earlier in this season, we had gotten to a point where Rose had kind of made her peace with it. Like, she doesn't like it, but she had made peace with it. And she's like, Miriam, this job's very important to me. As if Miriam's job is not important to her. And as if they haven't had that conversation with Miriam
on the
other side, exactly, saying my career is very important to me. She ends up going to the Wolf, what? The Wolf something. The Wolford?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. She ends up going there and watching a show, which is Bubbles, and it's amazing.
I want to go to this show. It looks so good. And we have people in the mezzanine now. Yeah. It is going really well.
People in the boxes. It's great. So she goes, she watches the show. I know it's 1960 also, and I know that Rose was born, in the, 1900s, the early 1900s. But she lived through the 20s. This shit is
and she lived in Paris.
I think she's got a lot of nerve being as judgy as she is. Mm. For it's not full nude. I don't think full nude was allowed at this point.
No, but burlesque at that point was stripping. So
they do keep all calling it a strip club, and I'm like, this is a burlesque joint.
Yeah, but
this is a cabaret.
But I'm curious when it shifted to, it going from stripping to burlesque, because there is, especially now, there is a difference between being a stripper and a burlesque performer.
Dancer, yeah.
But it's just it's so tasteful and artistic, and I just don't understand.
And that's the thing, especially because Rose is just so rigid about it. And she's like, I'm going to have to tell people my daughter's a stripper. And I'm like, first of all, you don't have to do anything.
Right.
Second of all, she's not a stripper. And she just is like, everybody's going to assume when I say that you work at a strip club. And
but how many people have come up to you to be like, hey, your daughter is a comic? Yeah. Like, how many times have you had to thwart people coming up to you? No one has approached you about her career.
Which Midge says, she's like, we don't even have the same last name.
That's immediately where my brain went.
How is anybody going to find? And I'm sure that somebody will find out. But at the same time, and then, it's sort of gaslighty the way that Rose keeps on being like, well, and you're living in this apartment that your father and I bought. And she's like, I bought it. I'm allowing you to live here. And she's like, well, everybody thinks that we bought it. And she's like, yeah, but
that's your story, not mine.
Exactly. I don't know. Because even Abe is in a better spot because he's working for the Village Voice and he's like having a fun time and he's like doing something he really loves. And Rose is doing something she really loves too. But instead of it making her more chill and interesting, it is making her more rigid and more combative with Miriam. And I don't know. I was really annoyed and put off by Rose in this episode. I don't think that any of this is appropriate or correct.
No.
Her original argument was like, my friends aren't going to understand what you being a comedian is. And it's like, so they don't understand what her being a comedian is. Just keep saying she's a comedian. What difference does it make where she's working?
Right.
She's still doing something you and your friends don't understand. And further to that, Rose doesn't have any friends.
Right.
Except for Shirley and the woman that's helping her with the matchmaking. We never see her have tea.
She doesn't have friends. She has connections.
Exactly. And so I'm like, what? Then who cares? These people don't care about you.
You don't talk to your family in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So you're not beholden to them.
Yeah.
Who are you worried about? There's nobody.
Yeah. It just doesn't matter.
And also, if these people that you are doing the matchmaking for are that desperate for their daughters to get married, it's not going to be an issue. It should not be an issue.
31 and 33. And also, she's like, this is a cash cow. The Mellamids are a cash cow. And I'm like, I understand that too. Because there's like, apparently all of his sisters are widowed. She goes, suspicious? Maybe. That part was amazing. But, so you do the two sisters, and then you don't get the rest of the family. Sure, that's missing out on some action. But there's...
How many unmarried Jewish girls in New York?
New Jewish girls turning 18 every day.
Yeah. Come on.
You don't have to stick with Jewish girls.
No.
Find a wife for anyone or find a husband for anyone. So I don't know. I like partially understand Rose's position because she likes her job and she wants to keep it. But I don't understand how she doesn't know how that sounds, given that Miriam has said the exact same thing to her multiple times. So...
yeah, why is yours valid and mine isn't?
Right.
And right now, mine is paying for where you live.
Exactly.
So it shouldn't matter.
Because she called it the gas hole. Can't you go back to the gas hole? And that was where we got the conversation. She was like, the Gaslight is a basket house. I don't make money there because they don't serve booze.
Yep.
So whatever. I guess we'll see. There's only 3 episodes left. So We've got these 2 this week and then 2 more next week and that's it. But I don't know. I don't know if that's going to come to a head or not.
Well, she did get that note passed under the door that said stop.
I think it's from the daughters.
I have no idea.
I think maybe either the daughters might be lesbians or they just want to be spinsters. They just don't care. They just want to live their own lives. But otherwise, I don't know who it would be from.
Well, I feel like the fact that it was sent it is very important because as soon as she meets with whoever sent the note, unknowingly, she's going to be like,
Interesting. Yeah, I'll be interested to find out who it is, for sure. What else? Susie finally did get a secretary. A nice black girl was sitting there waiting for 7 hours. And we don't know her name because the elevator closes before Susie can ask. But she got the job. She's coming in at noon the next day because Susie wants to sleep late. I think it's going to go. And I think that's the Susie thing where she's just like, you were here, you waited. Yeah, whatever. You got the job.
Yeah.
I need someone. You're in front of me. Take it. And I think she's going to be good.
Joel and May decided to finally have May meet the parents because the phone is ringing off the hook. Shirley is sending girls to the apartment, to the club. And
Unhinged.
so May can't take it anymore. So she decides.
She's like, fine, we'll do it. And then she goes absolutely batshit insane, buys an ugly dress. I didn't like that blue dress.
I kind of liked it. There is potential there.
Okay, here's the problem.
The right person needed to wear that dress, and May was not the right person for that dress.
Midge is the right person for that dress.
Yeah.
And the issue is that May went out and bought a Midge dress.
Yeah.
Because she was like, I'm meeting your parents. I need to look like what they're used to. And I'm just like, all of your like Chinese collar dresses are so cute.
I know, they really are.
It's ridiculous. And so I guess she works herself up into such a tizzy that she can't end up making it.
That annoyed me so much.
Me too.
Because it's like, just get it fucking over with. Yeah. Rip the Band-Aid off.
Especially because you know the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario is that Shirley doesn't let them in the house.
Yeah.
And then you go home and it doesn't matter.
Right.
And Joel is like prepared to move again.
Yeah.
To like keep this shit from happening. So I don't know. I wish that she would have gone also. But what I really liked is that Moish comes to the club later before it opens. And he's like, hey, so you definitely do have a girlfriend, right? And he was like, yeah. And he was like, I just really care that you're happy, which is such a nice thing to hear because we don't get a lot of sincere moments from Moish.
Right. They are very few and far between.
So it's also nice that he had one with Joel, who feels like he never got enough validation as a child. It was just a constant from kids that grew up in the 50s and 60s. I guess Joel was like mixing up her name because he was like, my girlfriend's name is Rachel Rebecca Ruth. He was like, I like that you kept it biblical, but you're having a problem. And so he doesn't admit to anything. Like, he doesn't admit to, you know, her being Chinese or anything, but he basically is like, we like don't know what to do. So, but he bought himself some time with Shirley.
Yeah.
So
I'm just ready.
Yeah, I'm ready for it to either come out or
shit or get off the pot.
Yeah, it needs to come out or they need to break up because this is unsustainable.
Yeah.
And I don't really want them to break up because I really like May. And I think her name is, I had it a minute ago, Stephanie Sue. She's so cute. I like her so much.
Her hair is so bouncy. The ponytail's so bouncy.
And she fits in super well in an Amy Sherman Palladino universe. She like really slides.
I mean, talks a mile a minute.
Yeah. It's really good, but I'm just sort of like, I don't know. I'm waiting for something.
Yeah, because it's driving me nuts.
Yeah.
And I would
especially this has been 2 seasons now.
Yeah.
They're like dancing around each other. And I'm like, I mean, they are in a relationship together now.
Yes, and the fact that like she is going out of her way to not call to call Joel her boyfriend. And
or like, say the word relationship.
Yes. And I'm like, why? And I know that people are like this. I get it. But that's why I don't date those people.
So I think also she's trying to minimize. I think she knows it's not a sustainable relationship. So she's trying to minimize the pain. If he was never her boyfriend, then when they break up, she can like be better. It's not going to work. That shit never works. Do you know?
I had someone after a year dating say, I never asked you to be my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Fucking cool, man.
Do you know how many not boyfriends I had in college?
Like,
it doesn't protect you from the pain.
No, sir, you were living with me.
Yeah.
What the fuck do you mean? So, yeah, cool.
So, we've still got Alfie the magician.
Yes.
Popping back up. He's not doing anything yet, but he's
except shooting things out of his hands.
He's working on his tricks, I guess. Illusions, Michael. And then so we've got Sophie Lennon back, and Susie takes a gambit.
She does, and it pays dividends.
It really does. So I said that Gordon Ford, Reed Scott's character, was going to play in. I thought she was going to get Midge on the show, although now that they've got an opening, she could still get Midge on the show.
Absolutely.
So we meet with his booker, Mike Carr, who is played by the incomparable Jason Ralph, also known as Mr. Rachel Brosnahan.
My God.
If you have been following us as a general podcast and everything for a while now, you will know him as Quentin from The Magicians, one of our favorite shows of all time. Go check that out if you haven't watched it yet. It's amazing. So he also playing such a more confident character. Quentin is such a he's very, he's got, mental problems and everything. And so he's very inside himself. This guy was very open and woo.
Smoking a cigarette, keep walking, you know? Oh my God. Yes, sir.
He's so fine. Anywho, he's the booker for Gordon Ford. So, Sophie and Susie have a meeting with him and she's like, literally, you don't have anything to lose. Gordon has been number 2 in the ratings forever. If he stays number 2, you're going to get fired. So you may as well take a risk on Sophie because what's the worst that's going to happen is you're going to get fired. So it doesn't matter. So it works.
Susie's good at her job.
It's a strategy and it works. And Sophie goes on the Gordon Ford show and she fucking kills.
She really does.
So good.
And she's herself, which I love. And he makes a point to ask if we're ever going to see Sophie from Queens.
Yeah.
And she does the voice. Yeah. Because she goes, I'm interested in everyone getting to know
me,
Sophie Lennon.
Love it.
Love that. I know, me
too. Jane Lynch is so good at this role in a way that I would have never anticipated.
I know.
It's amazing. And she's so great. And they have like a really cute chemistry together. I don't know. I loved it. And like I said, now the door is open.
And he bumped the next guest because he wanted to keep talking to her.
Talking to Sophie. Amazing. So I love it. And like I said, the door then is open for Midge to go on television, which I am interested in. Yeah. And then
it's so good.
That is basically it, yeah?
I think so.
Yeah, so that's basically it. And then Midge is getting a ride home in a cab. And she's like, oh my God, wait, stop the cab. And then she runs out to like get someone. And I think it's Lenny Bruce. So
kiss.
Yeah, kiss a lot on the mouth. But yeah, good episode. Really good episode.
I'm excited for the next one.
I'm hoping these last three are like up.
Yeah.
Because I'm really pumped. I think this like weirdly might be my favorite season so far.
I don't know. The first season just has a really special place in my heart.
The first season is like,
it was gangbusters.
Comically good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I like the settled place.
Yeah.
That we're in. It's a lot more smooth. Kind of.
Yeah.
Like, it's not so much upheaval. I like where we've landed, kind of. And so that's nice. But yeah. All right. Well, we're going to go watch episode 6.
Yay!
And we'll be right back.
Bye.